All right.
Hello, everybody. This is Leonard again, coming back with you with the second part of our three-part series, our podcast today. And again, if you weren't on the first one, I just want to thank you for supporting us with your kind words and your support of these coaches and the things that you're learning about them. I just appreciate the feedback. The only ad that you'll hear for tonight is uh, this is sponsored by my insurance agency, and if you have any needs, any uh, retirement needs, insurance needs, anything dealing with finances, just hook me, call me, and I'll get you hooked up. This is not as hard as you want to be. All you have to do is educate yourself, and being a former educator, that's what I do. Educate, but you make your decision. So anytime, my number will be scrolling at the bottom. So holler at me anytime you need a free quote. And only thing that I do is give you the information. You decide whether you want to do it or not. But the information I give you is so compelling that you can't help but do it. Okay, that's what you call a close before the close.
I'm sold. What is it we doing? I don't even know.
All right, let me introduce to you my second guest, Mike Howard from St. John High School down there in Johns Island. I met this young man a year or two ago, and I've always had fun sitting down just listening to him talk. And I just a lot of these guys think that we older guys don't listen and learn, but we always listening and learning. That's why I keep my mouth closed a lot and keep my two ears open so I can pick up something. But Mike is one of these young lions trying to make impact with our youth, trying to get them guided in the right way, trying to get them dream that they can be better than what they are, and nothing can stop them but themselves. Okay, so I'm gonna do my normal thing right here. Bring Mike on, make him big and make me small. How's that? Yeah, because it's like I tell him, it's his show. Welcome, Mike. I'm glad you're on, man, and I appreciate you coming on. It's I told you a little earlier the week when I called you that you were on for next week, but we had an issue where we had to get somebody plugged in, and you graciously agreed to do this, and I really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, Coach. Man, it was a surprise to get the call from you, but man, just meeting you and talking a couple times let me know that you're a good guy, and I really want to be involved with people that know a whole lot more than me. Like that's the biggest part of this thing. I think if I had came on here the first time we met, I would have been saying a whole lot more, football based stuff and thinking about games and stuff. But now I know it's a whole lot bigger than just a game. Like football, the game, that's for the fans and everything. But the game that we teaching, like that's a game of life. And I keep running into life with these kids so much that I like the fun part is football. The rest of it that we got to do, it ain't so fun, but it's necessary and it's awesome. It's awesome. I had like just like Coach. I know you shared the same sentiments. I had a kid call me 2 weeks ago that I coached my first year coaching. He was on a JV team. I only coached them for about 3 weeks, but we've been connected ever since. And he called me about another kid that unfortunately passed away. But having that connection through 15 plus years of having known this kid for 3 weeks of his life, it's like that's how big this sport can make relationships for us. And I mean, this is a kid who grew up with no daddy in the house. He saw his mom go through a whole lot of stuff. Now he got his own trucking company. He got a daughter that he's taking care of by himself. And that's the stuff that really mattered to me. That's the stuff that make me get up in the middle of the night and go pick kids up when they need to get picked up from wherever they might be, and do the extra stuff that we do as coaches. But thank you for having me, Coach. Thank you.
All right, now for those 100 people that don't know who Mike Howard is, and I only say that because you're so young in the business. Why don't you tell these people a little bit about you? Where you're from,
Oh.
what you do, what towels have you pushed down?
Well, I ain't pushing no towels down here, coach. But man, I guess the story is that now I am a dad. I got two beautiful twin boys, man. They're 12, about to be 13 years old, and that's what really put me in this position. It made me focus back on everything that I was trying to do in life, and I had to really do something to put in front of them. So fussing and all the other stuff to raise kids is what you do right now. But when I'm not here in front of them, I want them to be able to look and listen to people like you and talk to people that I talk to and have them tell the story, what I did for them. So that's who I really am. Like, I don't want anything. I don't like the accolades. I don't like a whole lot of attention. I just want to help and like you said earlier, let these kids know they got a bigger perspective in front of them than they even think they can have. Like, some of these kids I'm talking to, they don't even know they can go to college yet. Some of them go to early college, high school. And I'm like, how you going to early college and you don't know you can go to college? But, that's what I'm trying to put in front of them. Not even just that, the business part. But I'm originally from Homer, Louisiana. Kid went viral from there on Max Preps. Champ, I can't remember his first name, but he's out there right now, the offensive lineman. But the team I played for won the state championship last year. It's a small town, about 1,500 people and like 200 people in the school. And that's what built me into the kind of person who come all the way to Johns Island, 13 hours away from my little hometown, and coach at a school that looks just like that. We got 300 kids. We got two or three that might be college players, but the rest are from the community, and it's a real family feel in the school. So that's where I am now. When I left Homer, I went to the military. I was in the United States Army for 8 years, active and inactive. And, it built a certain character in me. It gave me a certain perspective. And that's where I kind of borrow some of my enthusiasm from. Because I know it's a bigger thing out here than just this main road and, going over the bridge. Like, it's a world out here. And if these kids don't go out and experience it, then they'll be lacking in that part of life. So as I went through the military, I told everybody when I was in, I'm going to play football. I'm going to play football. There's nothing in life that can stop me from going to play football. And when I got out, the first thing that stopped me, I couldn't get into college. So it stopped me. I had to switch. I went to Germany with my wife. I got married, man, and life just it was on me again. I ended up finding Charleston Southern by happenstance. We stopped at the gas station on the way to the airport, and I saw Charleston Southern across the street from that gas station.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what school is that? And my wife told me, so that's a private school. You don't want to go there. They'll never win. Well, I'm like, shoot, that looks like something that, might be made for the college or small, so got overseas. I emailed Coach Dowd. He told me about the program. I was just kind of starting up 5 or 6 years. And I came back over here in 2000, and I've been in Charleston ever since. I went to Charleston Southern University for undergrad. I was there for a couple years. I left and went to Savannah, but I stayed there and graduated with a undergrad in athletic training, and that let me be around football, let me work with football, let me work with other athletes, let me get a camaraderie with people that do what I do, and figure out that it's bigger than just a game. It's really relationships inside of it, and that's what makes the program go. So I spent those 3 years at Charleston Southern, learning a lot about football, like the X's and O's, but that stuff was still really over my head. And I knew at the end of the day it was something that really connected everybody to make us stay in there for 4 hours in meetings and then come back to practice and then come back and meet again. That kept people going over and over and over this stuff. So just getting that understanding, it fueled something in me to go back and get my master's degree, and I went to the Citadel for that. I got my master's degree from the Citadel in 2011, and at that point in time, I wasn't even coaching. I came back and I went to Stall High School just on the whim, and I ended up coaching there, and everything kind of took off from that point. I coached at Stall High School. I left Stall and went to New Jersey, and I coached at Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey, a Division III school, um, one of the biggest private schools in America. It was an amazing experience. They have classrooms with gold paintings on the walls, and just in a castle. They have the classes in castles, and can't imagine it until you're walking into a castle, and then you look outside and all these rolling hills, and it looks just like a fairy tale. But they played some decent football up there in that area, man, and it was an awesome experience. Get to go. I always say I went underwater when I went to Fairleigh Dickinson, because me and the defense coordinator, with only two guys in the building, and we stayed up all night, a lot of nights, just putting X's and O's right, making sure we can adjust to all the stuff you have to adjust to in college football. And he's now the head football coach at Fitchburg State up in Maine, and I'm down here, head football coach of a high school in South Carolina. So we all kind of rolled that into more success. I mean, the guy who's the offensive coordinator at Rutgers was in the room with us. We got guys that are in the NFL right now that was in the room with us. And that built something up in me, let me know, like I can be in the same room with these NFL guys I'm watching, and I know they don't know everything. I know they don't know everything that people say that they know. So it's a process, and I got that. So after I left Fairleigh Dickinson, I came down to Charleston Southern, and they had just came off an O and everything season. We ended up winning 5 games with some coaches in that room, man, that had been in national championship programs. We had guys in there that had been SEC, some guys that are coaching at Florida State right now, Virginia Tech, Troy. One guy's with the Bills. I'm looking at him on TV right now. And like all of these experiences have just poured into me and let me know that this stuff I'm looking at on TV is not unattainable. Like I can be one of these people. I coach before I get crazy. I left Charleston Southern. I ended up coaching at Northwood Academy here in Charleston. Kind of helped them work themselves into an undefeated season in 2015. They won the state championship, and as soon as they got really good, I left and went to Kansas, and I coached at one of the best JUCOs in the world at Coffeyville. Didn't know anything about Coffeyville until I got the call. Got out there, man, and I never seen better players in my life in one place. And I don't care what people say about JUCO. That's the place where a lot of these NFL teams are built from. These kids that don't want to really go to school, the ones that was passed along and they didn't get everything they needed from high school. They show up in one place and you got to fix all that in 2 seasons and send them out to Division I. But I met, at this point, Coach, I think it's about 12 guys that came out of the rooms I was in over there that's in the NFL or been in and touched it and got out. And again, that's another thing where I saw guys that didn't have anything in them no more. Like, I don't know what to do, Coach. How can I get out of this situation I put myself in? How can I get next level? We helped them out. And I made some awesome friendships and relationships in there. I left from there and came back to Northwood Academy because I have kids. And that weighed so heavy on my heart, man. And I'm sitting there knowing I'm learning everything I need to learn. I'm doing everything I need to do for this profession. And I look at my kids on Zoom, and they actually came and visited me, Coach. I wanted to get in the car and leave with them when they left. It was so tough because first time father, I'm trying to be successful at a profession, and it tears at your heartstrings. So I made a decision. I came home, went to Northwood Academy, stayed there for about 4 years, taught there, coached there, learned to love it, and they kicked me out. They told me, go away. I knew the career thing had to go a little bit different, so I moved to Stall High School. I moved back to Stall, which was the first place I ever started coaching at. And
Who was
I was
that?
there.
Who was that Northwood when you were there?
Coach Philip Keefe was the head coach when I was there, and
Okay.
Coach Bunch was doing JV. But I sat with him a bunch of times and just talked with him about, old school football. I think he was the head coach at North Charleston for a while, back in the day, long time ago. But, like I like to be around experience. So I listened to him a whole lot. But when I went back to Stall, Corona hit, and I was there for one season, and I ended up getting a job here at St. John's the same week we let school out for the year. So it was awesome. After that, I announced it on everything I got, social media, and they were like, go home. So, okay. So, Coach, it was so crazy to get the job and not be able to see the kids until September.
Yeah.
I sat and waited and waited and waited. We finally got in September. They gave us a week to practice and went and played the best team in the region and got thumped. But it was such an emotional journey just to get it and be out in front and be here now. Like, that's kind of where I am. And I've gone from having a whole bunch of people around me that I thought were there for the same reason I am to now having a couple people around me that I know are here for the same reason I am. And it's been an awesome learning experience up to this point.
Well, I see. This is why I do this show, this podcast, because I knew nothing about your past, and I'm just
Yes,
sitting
sir.
here. Wow.
Yeah,
No,
it's a whole bunch more, man, but I don't want to take up the rest of the evening. It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy.
Yeah. Now you mentioned your your son, your wife, and everything,
Yeah.
they have been hanging with you all through this process. You want to talk
Oh
about them
goodness,
for a
man,
second?
goodness gracious. My wife has been so instrumental in this because she didn't put pressure on me to stay home with the kids. And, even when we doing this, we all understand that we don't make a lot of money when you first starting out. It's pretty much a volunteer thing. But your time is what is really drawn. And like the first year I did it, it was no problem at all because she wasn't working, she was in school. And the second year I did it, it became a little bit of a problem because she had to go work and I had the kids with me. But it turned out so great, Coach. One thing that I did here in the recent past, I wrote a book, and inside that book is a dedication page of my kids. And somebody took a picture of my kids sitting on my feet while I'm blowing the whistle at practice, like we were doing stretch lines. It was just something they did when they were in kindergarten. They came and sat down with me, and it's like it just brings my heart to tears almost because I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to have them see.
Hmm.
I want them to see me doing something that's different, and they can't ever expect themselves to do regular stuff no more. Like they got to think outside the box and go bigger than everything that they ever thought they could do. So my wife supporting me and my kids just being a motivational force. They used to come to meetings with me. I had them sleeping on a cot in the meeting. And it's just crazy stuff like that, man. And I changed my mind so much about what was possible since they've been born. I started coaching in 2009 when they was born. I stopped thinking that I could just get a regular job and start saving and everything's gonna be fine. I knew I had to give something kind of understanding to them when I'm no longer around that, average ain't okay. Like you guys gotta strive for something bigger and better and you gotta help people. At the end of the day, that's all that I'm doing. I'm trying to help people.
Um, you well, first of all, what's the name of that book you wrote?
The name of the book is Go Be Great Today. It's actually a journal, a year-long journal that I put together this year, and it's 12 motivational prompts. And I'm going to be doing a motivational app to go along with it that gives you a little bit more to chew on, so to speak, when you start the day off and you're journaling. And that just went live on Amazon yesterday.
Oh,
Go
good,
Be
man.
Great Today by Coach Mike.
Okay, I'm going to get that. See what I'm learning here today?
I'm trying to do it, Coach. I'm telling you, man. You said that I saw that it was a Leonard Johnson agency. I'm like, is he
Uh-huh.
doing talent scouting? Is he doing? Hey, is he a agent for movies? But man, I'm so into finding out more about what we can offer as just human beings here and all the opportunity that's available that nobody ever looks into.
Hmm. Now, you ended up at John's. I don't know why I call it high school Johns Island High.
That's what it is. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
St. John's.
I remember Coach Biggerstaff,
Yeah.
legend
Oh
down there,
man,
and
I got a chance to meet him before he passed
yeah.
away. The first year I got it, it's crazy because it was Corona and he let me in his house, and
Hmm.
I went over there with one of his former players, and that is my uncle, and he remembered my uncle's best play, and they ain't seen each other since he left high school. And it's just like right off the top, he was like, "Hey, Adam, I remember you caught that ball in Georgetown, man. Looked like he was floating in the air." And I'm like, "That's what I want. I want to be
Hmm.
old and almost with dementia and remember one play." And that's my thing with the day. Like, yes, I remember that play, man. I know I can remember something, but
Yeah.
he was such a good guy to meet, man. He gave me his blessing, and I didn't even know how big it was at the time. But since he passed away, like I can tell everybody that I really did get his blessing to come and try to take this program to where it's supposed to be because we got some good players over here, man. Just so discombobulated with everybody being so passionate about it.
Yeah. You gotta we'll talk about that fan base in a minute.
I want to say, hold that down, Coach. Hold that down. We're talking later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because they are very they love them some Johns Island High School.
Passionate, passionate.
Yeah, but the question I was going to ask you is, how did you get those kids to get into you? There's always that process
Mhm.
of when they get that exchange, a different coach and everything. How did they you get them to believe in you?
It's a lot of communication, Coach. Like I'm learning, like I said, still learning on the fly. And one of the things one thing that I would change from the time I start was a better relationship with parents. I think that's the biggest key to get the kids to believe in something that you believe in. You got to make sure the people that's making them believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do a good job of that first year or second year, really, because I thought I didn't do a good job of that. So now I'm doing a whole lot better job of talking to the parents. And I don't like to brag on myself. I don't really want to put accolades out there, but I have to sit them down and tell them, like, you might think these other people got this much on me, but I've been where they trying to go. I've coached college in 3 different places at 3 different levels, and these coaches that you're telling me are so much better than me, like they've been sitting at one school for a long time, and they got the program already established. So
Mm-hmm.
making the kids believe in the fact that I can say something, and it's not coming from I'm just trying to beat one certain team over here. I'm trying to get you to be the best player you can be, and you can watch you on Saturdays and watch you on Sundays doing the stuff that I'm trying to tell you to do because I taught some of those people on Sundays to do what they're doing. So I think it takes confidence in yourself first of all, and then having the people around the kids really understand who you are. And I think they'll buy in because now they know the information you're giving out it's never going to change. I won't talk to a kid's dad and tell him I did something, and then go to the kid tell him I did something else. And you can always just Google me. Google me is what I like to
Mm-hmm.
tell them. Like, look me up if you don't believe me. Like, I've been everywhere and done all the stuff you want to do, but not bragging, not trying to impress you, just giving you understanding you can do it too. So that's the process that we're in right now, Coach. We're still in that believing phase. We're still getting them to kind of get out of the mode of listening to all the fodder, all the voices around them, and listen to the people that's out here with you.
Now, your staff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a did you have? I'm sorry, the dog got out the cage. I thought I locked that thing down. Did
Get that dog.
yeah. Um, did your staff come with you, or did you have to
I
get a new
didn't
staff?
have anybody with me, Coach. I was by myself. It's like I was born into this, really, because coming from Stall, I wasn't really at Stall but a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the job over here. And like I said, I didn't get a chance to see anybody till September. So I spoke with some people on the phone. I kind of talked through what I was trying to get accomplished. And at that point in time, Coach, I made a mistake, but it's what I thought was right. Everybody that said they wanted to help, I was like, come on. So I ended up with like 14 coaches the first year.
A
And
whole 14.
a whole 14. So it was like, oh man, I got a bunch of help. But I understand now when people come into a new place, they clean house. I
Mm-hmm.
understand now how you have to make relationships with people and continue to keep that congruency going forward and keep people with you that you can trust. And that is a learning process. And like I said, I went from that number. I got 7 to dependable guys now that really are about everything I'm about. They'll put time in on the weekends. They'll come in the wintertime and lift, and they'll just do all the extra stuff that you got to do. So it's been a little bit of a process. But no, sir, I did not bring nobody with me. It was just me.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the guys just kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah, yeah,
You politely pushed away, or
I don't ever push anybody away, coach. You ask them to, let's move in a different direction, or you
well, that's
support
what
from a different side. But
that's
it was,
that's
I
the
mean, it was
terminology.
not. It's never anything bad though. Like in most instances, always like I see what you're trying to do here, but it seemed like something else got a whole lot more of your focus, and I want to let you go do that because I don't want ever have an animosity towards me about anything because I'm of the understanding that everybody's gonna do what I do, and I get up at 4 o'clock and watch film. I don't go to bed till I got everything complete from the day and figure out what I did and what I need to do next. So in the off season, I don't worry about getting paid. I'm worrying about how much I can get these kids better. And everybody that's like that, that's who stays. Everybody else that's not kind of has to do their own thing.
Now, how's your administration treating you? Pretty good.
Right now, administration is awesome. We just got a brand new principal, Jermaine Joyner. He came in, this is his first year as a principal, and he got his priorities straight. My priority is graduating every senior that I have and having them be job ready or career ready or college ready. And he's really about that as well. I don't think we have anybody graduate early this year. Administration has been 100% behind fall camp and all the stuff we're trying to do. Like we brought Benedict Band down last year to play for us at homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to do that this year. It was supported, but it was a little bit too many things going on. And just as a teaching staff and things that we're trying to do to order things now and get finances back in line, I've got great support from my administration right now.
Now, are you the athletic director there, or?
No, sir, I'm not. I'm not the
Okay.
athletic director.
So both y'all work well together, trying to get that program.
Yes, sir. Right now, we're working well together, getting it going.
Good. That's because that's very important that everybody be on the same page. And
You better be. that is,
yeah,
that is paramount to success.
Yeah, I've been in some situation where I said, "Wow."
Yeah, that'll be something off the record we have to talk about. But good God, man, when it's not, it's just not, and it's not any fun.
Yeah,
You put it that way.
it can be difficult sometimes, and you just got to know why you're there.
Yeah,
a whole lot of time. That's the biggest
absolutely.
reason.
Yes, sir.
Now, how many of those mamas and daddies have you won over and kind of loosen
Out of
up to?
out of the 28 that we got, I can say honestly, on my phone, I got all 28 phone numbers. We got everybody on Sports U. So winning them over, I got a little bit of teaching to do about how that process looks, but
Mm-hmm.
I say 90% of them because we can call a practice. If we say in the morning, we can get in contact with all the parents and get them there. Whereas before, we call a practice in 2 days and we still only have 50% of the kids show up. So it's the process is working. We got systems in place now, so every coach can reach out to parents of their positions, and when anything happens, we can immediately alert parents that we got something kind of different going on, and it's like we can take care of things immediately. It's not a week. It's not trying to figure it out. I think we're winning them over completely. It's taking a little bit more. We win a couple games, we'll get 100%.
Okay, well, that comes. As long as you are building the foundation correctly, the wins will
Yes, sir.
always come. It always does. Sometimes we go out and we try to win games first before we build that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And that house will collapse, and with you in it.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so you just got to be careful to make sure you keep your priorities and what you want this program to be, which I'm about to ask you right now. 5 years from now, where you want Johns Island High School to be at?
5 years from now, I see St. John's being exactly where they were before. One of the top 1A programs in the state as far as graduating seniors, as far as putting kids in college and careers. As far as the wins go, that kind of remains up in the air because there's a lot of factors that come into that. But
Mm-hmm.
if we keep this process in place and these systems that we got, I look at graduating 100% of the seniors. I look at putting people in colleges that they didn't think that existed. That's like we've been doing up to this point, like sending the kids to Yale for a camp, sending them to Harvard, and sending them to different places in the Ivy League that we can assure we can create a path for other people to go. Like I want kids to come out of this program and know I can go to Harvard if I want to. I can go to Trident. I can go NFL if that's my path. Or I can own my own business. So having 100% of the parents won over, having participation with administration with no stress, and them knowing what the focus of this program is. Our motto is building championship character players in the sport of football while building championship character people in the game of life. That's our motto. That's what we try to teach, like just making better people come out of here. We got kids that they're breaking generational curses in their family by going to college because of football.
Mm-hmm.
So I see this program once we get everybody knowing like this is why we're here. It's not just to beat Baptist Hill, Now we supposed to beat them, but not just to beat Baptist Hill, but we are here to actually finish the season off. We're here to get kids into college and into careers and on their own business and being great family people. We got girls on our team, coach, that I want them to go out and be great mothers, but be able to talk to their sons about how they play football. And just in 5 years, I see this program being one of the top programs in 1A in every aspect. That's including wins and losses.
You have young ladies playing on your team?
Yes, sir. I had a kicker the first year. Her name was Caitlin M.A.T. She scored in 2 games for us, and I have a kicker this year, Caitlin Katie Basibe. I guess Katie's the name for us, but she's a soccer athlete. She could go to any college in America. Probably she's 4.6 GPA. She can kick from about 35, and we just got to block for her a little bit better. But every year we've had at least one girl on the team. And hopefully we can send one to college this year. Now, Caitlin went to college, but she's not kicking or nothing.
Okay. That is fantastic, man. I didn't know. I've only had the opportunity to play coach against one girl. That was on the JV level when I was coaching in Dallas. And had this defensive lineman just beating everybody up on the on the line of scrimmage, and I'm sitting there, just looking, observing the game and everything, and I'm looking at this JV player, and she just whooping every lineman that she got in front of him. And I said, "Oh, this dude gonna be good here in the future."
This kid's dominant out here. Who is this?
No, it's more than dominating. She was whooping.
It wasn't even no chance.
It wasn't. And so after the game, I went up there to shake the kid's hand, and the kid took the helmet off, and all this hair flopped out. I said, "Oh my God, how am I going to get our kids to come get over this?"
You're like, "Young lady, you are incredible."
Yeah, I couldn't even say anything because I was shocked that. But that was before today, where it was just at the beginning where girls were being allowed to participate in football. But I never expected it to happen, especially at the 5A level where we were. But there she was.
That's Texas football. Anybody on the field finna be playing hard. That's a different brand of human beings out there. When they ball, they ball. Good God, they ball.
Yeah, it's a different game. It's it's just different.
It's tougher. It's like right at you. Everybody, like I watched a high school game a couple weeks ago, and it's like it was a fist fight every play, all the way to the ground. Like everybody flying over the pile, and like just a hatred in their heart for the next team. And I'm like, how do we get that intensity? I don't know how to coach that.
Well, it's homegrown. It's tradition, and it's just that they got more better athletes than we do, who can do all that flying.
Who want to go do it? Like I think that's the thing, coach. Like I tell you guys, don't run to the ball, fly to the ball, fly to the ball, fly to the ball, and like we had to put a timer clock on them to get them to speed up. So that's why the upstate's always ahead of us, I believe. We go up there, and it's a different kind of ball game because everybody going so fast.
Yeah.
That's what we try to teach down here from the start. But, it just, I don't know, man. It's a low-country attitude, the island attitude.
It takes time. It takes time. It just takes time to get there and for your kids to realize in order to see the success and be successful, you got to hang around successful folks. You got to do what the successful people are doing. And one of the things that we always did was that we always took our kids to successful people to talk. Always had successful people to come talk to them. And we always talk success every day in practice. And you're not going to get them all at the same time. But one by one, they'll start believing. And all you really need is one to start believing, and you can feed off of that.
And I got a question for you, Coach.
Oh, boy.
Is it ever too much talk? Like, I'm so serious. Is it ever too much talk? Because I've had financial people come in. There was real estate investors that could tell them how to make millions of dollars off homes. I had people come in that were clergy and FCA, and we had mental specialists. And I've been talking to them, and all my coaches. Every coach that I got was in the military except one.
Mm-hmm.
Every branch that you can think of, and I give these guys the opportunity to tell them about success. And at a certain point, I'm like, are we talking at them too much? Like, I don't know. That's the question. Can you talk to them too much?
You can't ever talk about success too much, but what you want to do is hone your people you come talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can find a home or somebody that they can relate to, they may not be able to relate to somebody making a couple of $100,000 a year.
Right.
You know, come in your place wearing a $300 sweatsuit and got rings.
Yeah.
They may not be able to relate to that, but you bring people to talk to them that they can relate to. All right, hey, I might can do what he does, because when I talk to people every day, they can't see themselves being more than what they are. You know,
Right.
it's hard, but just give me a holler. I'll talk to you about that.
Okay. Okay.
How
Definitely.
we got
Definitely.
it how we got it going, and as far as get the right kind of people to come talk to them and everything like
Okay.
that. Because I think there's a mixture uh, that you allow, but always allow positive people to come talk to them, and if you can find hometown people who are successful, that's a plus.
Okay.
And if you got somebody off who's coming into town, you know he was success, that's a big plus. As long as he is doing what he said he's doing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Now, what well, let me ask you, how's the season going now?
sir. It's going well. We just came off an off week. We got cross coming up.
Uh-huh.
We're going into region play, and we got guys that's focused. They're believing, coach. I'm not even playing around. The record, it speaks for itself. With non-region, we 0-5, but we played against all playoff teams and one of the best teams in the state, James Island. So I take it as a win for us that we made it out with no catastrophic injuries. Nobody really out for the season after those 5 games, and now we go in the region. So the belief that the kids have in themselves and the belief they have in the program and what we're doing is still there. And that's the difference in between year one and now, where we only had 7 games to play, and after we lost one, we started losing people to quitting and all the rest of that stuff. This year we lost 5 in a row, and the only people that we lost was people that was jumping in late, people that didn't come to fall practice, people that might have just been trying it. But the core of the kids that's been here, it's like day one practice almost every day. They come out with some enthusiasm. We
Mm-hmm.
go through the same stuff that you go through with kids, but like we still got them, and they still believe in. Every week we come up to a new opponent, and it's like, okay, week one, here we go. This is this week's opponent. This is this week's playoff game. We got to win, and it's a lot of belief there. The big thing with us this year, coach, we had 15 guys that took their first varsity snap game one against James Island,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty tough on their psyche and their confidence and everything. So it's been a process of building them back up, getting them ready to face another opponent that's got heavy seniors and guys that's been playing for a while. So I think the season's going really well up to this point. I feel like we still got a chance to do a lot of big things on the back end of it.
Well, if it's sold to you, uh, the second year I was at Scotch Branch, not second year, but the year after we won the state championship, um, we were 1-4,
Mm.
first 5 ball games. We didn't lose another. We didn't lose again until we played in the state championship game. And you know,
That's some good
and
stuff.
yeah, but again, process,
Yes, sir.
belief, keep doing what you're doing. And again, building that house instead of building, trying to win game, because your system is good. As long as you know your system and your kids believe in you,
Hmm.
you're gonna be okay. So
Yes,
don't
sir.
let that 0-5 deflate you. Just keep on doing, because you've already proven that it can work. You know, you
Yes,
did
sir.
that. You did that last year.
Yes,
and
sir.
you know what you're fighting with, and go from and you just go from there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get so down on yourself. As long as you see progress every day, you're gonna be fine.
Yes,
You
sir. And
you're
finding
gonna be
that process, you got to find that process sometime, or that progress. Does it feel like you're spinning your wheels when you spend time talking to the same people about the same stuff, and
Mhm.
that's when you start feeling like, man, is this mattering? Are we doing something different? And you go back and you watch film, like, oh, that's the kid who had never played before. He actually blocking somebody now, and
Mhm.
that's a kid that he was playing one position. Now we got him in three different spots. So
Yeah.
it's working. It just takes some patience, coach.
Yeah, just make sure that when they leave the field every day, just
Hmm.
make sure they leave the field about something positive that they did that day.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
just that's it. Everybody, just whatever positive that you can pull out. I don't care I don't care how much of a stretch you ain't. Man, I don't know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying about this guy.
Man, look at you looking good in the
Boy,
sunshine. Look at you.
boy, I'm sure glad you wore them socks. When you get through them socks, give me them socks, 'cause they look good. you know. But I
Man,
know
boy,
how to.
you ugly, but you're here. We love you.
Yeah, but but
Oh man.
unless you go through that process, and everybody does not have the everybody at some time will go through a bad time.
Right.
And that's not the issue. The issue is how you react to it. And if you go off the cliff, then your kids gonna go off the cliff too. And when you and when they look at you coming down, it all depends how you treated them up there. They may hold their hands out
Well, they
the
may just
bumper,
watch you
or
go.
they may just
Oh, coach, that comes with so much experience, man. Golly. You don't understand that till you see it happening. Like, damn, I done went all the way out the cliff. It got me.
well, it's a
But
learning
you
process.
absolutely, it is, and I'm learning so much so fast, coach.
Yeah, but you're gonna be fine. Now you got cross this week, and
Hmm.
who you got after that?
We got Cross this week. Soon that's our first reading game. As soon as we're done with them, we got Burke. That's our homecoming game. We got Low Country, not Low Country, Legion Collegiate out of upstate, up by Rock Hill, as our
Hmm.
one of our games because we had to replace Charleston Math and Science. Then we got the regulars. We got Military Magnet, and we finished the season off with Baptist Hill.
Okay, all right. Well, you you're gonna find success in there.
Yes, sir.
Just keep on plugging. Now, we didn't talk a lot about your staff, but you wanna give a shout out to those guys, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. I got some of the best people around me that I could have, and like starting at the lower level, our B team head coach, Randy Wine. He's a military. Like I said, everybody around me is military guys, man. He got two local guys with him, Sean and Shamar Brown. They help him with the B team, and they got those kids really following the standard that we're setting up at the varsity. I got Coach Ratley, Clarence Ratley. He was at Scotts Branch for a while. He's been all over the state, man. Every time we go somewhere, he run into 10 people that knew him. But he's an ROTC guy here, and he coaches special teams and running backs for us. And he basically is off the field now because he's doing recruiting for me. And we got 10 seniors, and we trying to get them either in the military, get them involved in some kind of trade school, or if they're good enough, get them into college. And like we recruiting everybody, every single aspect of our team. We're trying to have those guys go off to college and be career and college ready when they leave.
Hmm.
Coach Jeff Coat is a guy that's been around forever over here, and he helps us with every single thing that we need, transportation and all that stuff. Coach Smith is a young coach that he's an analyst for us. He's a football operations guy, laundry guy, everything. He does all the dirty work. Nate Murtaugh, former firefighter, retired from the fire department. He's a Marine. Offensive coordinator for me. Just a great guy, solid guy, man. He good with the kids. Just who you want, somebody to have your back and to fight for you. Like he fight too much sometimes. Like he always got an issue. But I need somebody like that that's looking at my six, man, and making sure nobody coming up my back. And
Hmm.
my spiritual guide, man, the guy who keeps me grounded is Coach Carlton Solomon. He's an older guy. He's been around St. John's forever. and just spiritually, he brings that kind of peace. Because I mean, it's bullets flying at one game, and he's standing up talking about, "I've been around this. Everybody just stay down." I'm like, "Coach, you better get down too. These bullets will hit your butt too." But he just like he's a calming force for the kids. He's a calming force for me, and that's really like he's the person that really keeps me from going off the cliff, Coach. Sometimes he'll jump off the cliff for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never not had anybody around me like that since or before. And like I look to him for a lot of like I said, spiritual well being because I really wasn't in a good place coming up to now, and it took a little bit out of me to get back right. And now that I'm back right, like I said, I went from having all those coaches to a few, and like it's really more conducive to us being successful because we all are speaking the same language. Like they look
Mm-hmm.
to me for what we're gonna be doing next, as opposed to them trying to figure out why my plan ain't right, and then what they're gonna go tell everybody I need to be doing. They come to
Mm-hmm.
me and we fix it together, and now we're working as a team. And I think the kids are feeding off of that, and they see us doing that. And the ones that were trying to pull things apart, they either coming with us or they just go ahead and back away, and they know they can't infiltrate. So my coaching staff has been wonderful, man. This year, I like it's so much stuff that pulls the head coach away that you miss a lot of the little things that go on in practice sometimes because you got administrative stuff to do or people talking to you about other things. And I got coaches that can finish practice for me, and that's something
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have had before. They would have finished it, but it wouldn't have been anything that I wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been a whole lot better to say, okay, coach, we're gonna go ahead and knock this out, and I know they're gonna do it. So my staff is phenomenal. I got coach of the year last year, coach, and
I saw at the bottom.
I didn't get a chance to say it. I was gonna say I had the coaching staff of the year, and I wanted to get all them a plaque as well because they had my back through so much, man. That it is I need to be making plaques for them because I know that they got my back, and I got a solid crew of guys around me right now.
Well, that's fantastic, man. I am so glad that you're putting it together the way you wanted. You want to put it together and everything. And
Yes,
as
sir.
long as you have that respect to everybody and everybody's respect, you're gonna do fine.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
buddy, we at the last two questions.
Okay. It go
Yeah,
by so fast, coach. You sure you asked about 25 more, man?
I just roll off of you. Yeah. Let me ask you this: you got an hour, and every coach get this question. Okay. You get an hour to sit down with anyone in football and spend an hour with that person, and an hour to spend with somebody outside of football. Who would those two people be, and why?
Mm. If I only get two, man, that's tough. But in football, I know I would pick Eddie Robinson.
Coach
I would pick
Robinson.
Coach Eddie Robinson from Grambling
Hmm.
because I squandered an opportunity, Coach. I grew up in Louisiana about 10 minutes away from Grambling, and
Hmm.
I never knew where I was. I never knew, the stuff that he did to become the football coach at Grambling. He was just the head coach. He was the best black head coach there was, and that's all I knew. So I didn't take advantage of that opportunity to get closer to that program. But just the things that I know that he went through as a black guy, and I would like to go even further. I would want to have a conversation on how he got his kids to believe when they had all the opposite color people or other people saying you shouldn't be there. You're too good to be playing there. We can make more over here. We can do more for you over here at this institution. I'm sure that he had all that stuff, and that's what I get a lot here. I got all this talent and all these kids who look just like me, who will listen to people who don't look like them and tell them what they need to do. When I got more experience and I got love in them, in my heart for them, like I know who they are. And I tell them that all the time. Like I'm you. I'm the little black kid that didn't know how to go to college. I didn't know how to get a major. I didn't know how to apply to college. In the military, I'm trying to figure out how to apply to college. That's the only reason I'm in the military because I didn't know. So like, if I could sit down and ask him what were some of the things that I could do better, just representing myself and not just be a black face and be somebody they can believe in. Like that's what I get a lot here, coach. Just to be not too deep with you, but man, I've had kids leave me because they said it's a better opportunity at another school, and that coach ain't never stepped foot on the college campus. That coach ain't never won anything more than I have as a high school coach, but it's a better opportunity because he looked different from me. And that's one of the hurtful things in being in this position because I can't change their parents' mind. That's ingrained in them. That's what they want, and the kid can see it. But that's just one of them hurtful things. But yeah, Coach Eddie Robinson would be the person in football. Outside of football, it's kind of tough, man. I don't know, Barack Obama.
Why?
To kind of meet somebody that I don't know. I feel like he knows he could be able to give me information on how to take certain people or how to maneuver in certain situations and be better as a professional political figure. Somebody who can say things that they might not really mean, but they need to have happen. And some of the times you got to be able to play the game like that. So I'm thinking maybe as a strategical thing, he can teach me some strategy.
Well, you got two of the best there ever was. well, Mike, I enjoyed this. First time I ever just outside the meetings, just had a time to sit down and talk with you and everything, and
I
just to get
appreciate
to
it,
know.
Coach Johnson. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate all the advice. And I'm definitely gonna be calling you a whole lot more. So don't be ignoring my calls now. You told me to call you, get with you. I'm gonna be all over you about this insurance thing, man.
Yeah, as long as I pay the bill, I'll be fine.
uh,
Anything in closing you want to say?
Man, again, thank you, Coach Johnson, for having me on, and for anybody that's listening, just understand the influence that you have. Like I didn't understand that at first, Coach. I didn't realize that there were so many people looking at this title that I hold as something that really is different than who I am. But titles do not make you entitled to anything except the responsibility that comes with that position. And in my position, my responsibility is to these kids, getting them from high school to the next step in life. And it ain't always college. It's always success, though. It's always getting to something that you didn't think was possible for yourself. And I tell the kids all the time, it's about giving real evidence all the time. That's what the book means. Go be great today. Give real evidence all the time. And evidence is what you do when ain't nobody looking. How much practice do you do? How much studying do you do? How much do you really go out and help your parents and get things good in your household? Like that's what I'm trying to get imparted upon these kids and these individuals that I get to influence every day. So I'm not looking for any entitlement from just having a title. I'm trying my best to help everybody I can with the influence that I have. So again, thank you very much, Coach Johnson, for having me on tonight.
Okay, man. Well, we'll see you sometime down the road, and I'll give you a call later on this week. And when you got some time, we sit down and talk about some other matters and everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for coming on, man, and the pleasure was all mine, really.
All right,
And
Coach. Thank you.
yeah, have a good night, man, and go play with them
All
Suns now. Okay.
right. I gotta go get them, Coach. All right, Coach.
Okay, buddy. Talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Good night. All right, guys. This is another one of the young lions that we often talk about, who's doing the right thing, the right message, trying to help our youth. So give him support. If you're around an area, go shake his hand. If you're at the school game, go support him and everything, and help these young guys as they try to influence young athletes to do the right thing. All right, that's us for tonight on the second leg of this. We got a third leg coming up, so we will at 7:30. Yeah, so we'll see you at 7:30. If not, then you have a good night. Bye-bye.